the hidden Medusa head beneath Istanbul. Beneath the busy streets of Istanbul, far below the sound of traffic, voices, and city lights, there exists an ancient underground world that many people walk above every day without ever realizing what lies below their feet. Deep under the historic city, inside a vast and shadowed chamber supported by enormous stone columns, rests something mysterious, something unsettling, something that should only exist in myth. The head of Medusa. Hidden in the underground Basilica Cistern of Istanbul, this massive stone carving has puzzled historians, archaeologists, and visitors for centuries. The chamber itself is dimly lit, with soft golden lights reflecting across dark water. The air is cool and damp. The silence is heavy, broken only by the faint sound of dripping water echoing against ancient stone. And in one corner of this underground forest of columns, partially hidden in shadow, lies the enormous head of Medusa. It is not displayed upright like a monument. It is not placed proudly for admiration. Instead, it rests sideways beneath a column. Another carving of her head lies upside down nearby. No inscription explains why. No historical record clearly states how or when these massive stone heads were brought there. They simply exist. Medusa, in ancient Greek mythology, was once a beautiful woman. But after a terrible curse, her hair transformed into living snakes, and her gaze became deadly. Anyone who looked directly into her eyes would instantly turn to stone. Heroes feared her. Warriors avoided her. Her name became synonymous with terror. According to legend, she was eventually defeated, her head severed. Yet even after death, her head retained its terrible power. It could still turn the living into lifeless stone. Standing inside the Basilica Cistern, staring at her massive stone face, it is impossible not to feel something unusual. Her expression is calm, almost emotionless. Her eyes are deeply carved, shadowed by centuries of darkness. The snakes that form her hair twist and coil in intricate detail, each one frozen in stone. Why is she placed sideways? Why is another version of her head placed upside down? Some historians believe the stones were reused from older Roman structures and placed there simply as construction material during the Byzantine Empire. The cistern itself was built during the reign of Emperor Justinian in the 6th century to store water for the city. But others believe there is more to the story. In ancient times, people feared the power of Medusa's gaze. Some believed that positioning her upside down or sideways would neutralize her power. By disrupting her orientation, they believed her deadly stare would be weakened. It raises an unsettling question. Was she placed that way by accident or by design? Visitors today walk along wooden platforms above the shallow water, taking photographs, admiring the columns, and listening to tour guides explain history. But many describe an unexplainable feeling when they reach the Medusa heads. A sudden chill, a strange heaviness in the air, the overwhelming sensation of being watched. The lighting around her face creates deep shadows in her eyes. As you stand there, the reflection of water causes the light to flicker. For a brief moment, it can feel as though her expression shifts, as though the snakes carved into her hair are not entirely lifeless. Of course, logic tells us it is only stone, only history, only mythology carved into rock. Yet myths survive for a reason. Throughout history, Medusa has symbolized fear, protection, and forbidden power. Her image was often used as a protective symbol to ward off evil. Some scholars suggest that placing her head in the cistern may have served as a guardian presence, protecting the water supply of ancient Constantinople. But protection can feel very similar to warning. Imagine standing alone in that underground chamber as the crowd thins and silence returns. The water stops rippling, the echoes fade, the dim lights hum softly overhead. You take a step closer to her face. The details become sharper. The stone feels colder. The snakes seem almost alive in their realism. You look into her eyes, and for just a second you wonder, what if the legends were never meant to be taken literally? What if turning to stone was never physical? What if her true power is something else entirely? A lingering presence, a feeling that stays with you long after you leave. Many who visit say they cannot forget her face. They dream of it. They picture those silent eyes in darkness. They remember the underground chamber long after they return to the sunlight above Istanbul. Deep beneath one of the world's most historic cities, surrounded by pillars that have stood for over 1,500 years, the head of Medusa remains, silent, motionless, watching. Perhaps she is nothing more than